Yo, what up, friends? So, today I wanted to talk to you about pretty much the title of the video, this truth behind grasping males. Now, over the weekend, I worked on a Delver. I started putting some things together. I started hunting different items for both a Bone Shatter character and a really cool Eye of Winter character. And Twitch chat had some interesting conversations about why I was looking at very specific sets of armors, where they came from, how they were created. I found out not a lot of people knew about grasping males. They didn't know the idea behind a grasping male. They didn't know what they were, where they came from, how to make one. And today I kind of wanted to spend a little bit of time talking and teaching you guys about the idea of the Chayula or grasping male or all the cool stuff that can come from Breach without going into the farming strategy side of it, but the idea behind it that you might not realize. Now, with the grasping male and how it's created, it's a very interesting process. Now, I'm sure if I open a map, and pretty much I'm going to walk you through the step-by-step of how this is done. So if you're more of an experienced player and you want to know why this is so important, you could skip ahead a little bit. But if you don't really have an idea of what I'm talking about, let me hold your hand and walk you through it. Now, you'll notice on this map, I put in a scarab for breach hands. I clicked breach on the Atlas device, and I pretty much just kind of want to open a breach. Now, if you're curious about breach and why I want to do breach and how to make breach profitable, you guys can leave a comment down below in a video. I have a couple friends, big shout out to my buddy Julian, plus a few other people who have been running breach pretty much non-stop and have been profiting like crazy. I know myself that I plan on doing Julian's breach that he found out about, and I kind of want to test it out. I also want to do some gambling with some breach stones and pretty much just kind of enjoy myself and try out different builds. I also really like this Frostblade's character, so it gives me a really good excuse to play it and enjoy it a little bit more. And if you want to know about the character too and what I'm doing, please don't hesitate to leave a comment and let me know. Be like, that, what is that? What are you doing? Oh my God, there's a second boss? Wait, what the heck? Oh, this is the guy with the full breach stone. Okay, yeah, no, we're definitely like, Julian told me this was cracked and like, this is like low investment trying this out. This is gonna be insane. Okay, so I might have like convinced myself in my own YouTube recording to go try something. But anyways, have you ever done a breach and you just like never pick up the splinters? Because like, who wants to do all that individual clicking? And then have you ever done a breach and have just like, never picked up these rings? Oh yeah, one div, baby. Sorry about the whisper chat. Anyways, so you've done your breach, you've cleared it, you've decided that you were gonna pick up or you weren't gonna pick up your splinters, you picked up your breach stones, but then you decided that you were never ever going to pick up these rings. Now, these rings are the whole basis of everything that I want to talk to you about today and why they're so important. And why, if you haven't been picking them up, you might have just been like absolutely like losing out on a really good chance to profit and something very unique that most people didn't realize. Now we'll talk about the rings. We'll look over the rings and do all that. But first, I'm gonna collect me some Chayula stones and Chayula fragments really quick, and then we'll go to town and we'll see what's going on and why these rings are so important. It's actually really kind of crazy. I didn't realize. I know Julian told me, and I'm a silly and I wasn't listening, but just how many rings you can get doing this in one map, which is like insane. Because there's like a really cool strategy that you could do to get a bunch of Chayula stuff and a bunch of rings from the memories, which I'll leave for a video later. Does it tell me how many breaches are on this map? It doesn't. Let's see. Are there any more? Oh, wait. I want that. Okay, wait. Any more? This is also kind of relevant too, because this is a very unjuiced map and an unjuiced test. And I just wanted to showcase, look how many rings we've gotten. It's actually kind of crazy. Okay, do this, grab this, kill this. It's also like way more breaches in a map than I realized, and like, might be something really good here. I'm definitely going to explore this a little bit more. Stay tuned. So if you're not subscribed, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notifications, because there's definitely going to be another fight. There's definitely going to be another video about this. I wonder if it's okay. I've got so many things going on in my brain about this right now. This is like really exciting. So, all right, Map complete, done. Kill the boss, get our loot, get out. And now let's talk about the rings. What are these rings? Why did I pick them up? Why are they so important? And why am I telling you guys to pick these rings up? Now, the big important thing to note with these rings is we did one map, and in one map, we've gotten 5, 6, 7, 8 rings. Now, if we're getting roughly between 5 and 8 rings a map, and we're just kind of like doing our map and picking things up, eventually you're going to end up just like me here with a bunch of rings. And you're going to say to me, well, what's so important about these rings? Why am I grabbing these rings? What do you want me to do with these rings? And pretty much what the heck is the point? Or better yet, is it even profitable? Is there profit in this, and what are you doing? Well, 60 breach rings sold to a vendor will give you an item called a grasping mail. And if you don't know what a grasping mail is, or you haven't seen it before, don't even worry, we'll talk about it. And I'll explain what you need to know about a grasping mail. Now, a grasping mail is an armor that you can gamble on, or you could sell unID'd. If you sell the grasping mail unID'd, they're not really worth a whole lot to my knowledge. About 10C, about 1.4 divines under. Okay, wait. There's a market here. There's a market. I thought there was 10C was identified. So it looks like there's a market for unidentified grasping mails. I don't know if I would buy them and gamble on them, but I mean, farming your own is probably okay. Anyways, the grasping mail has the opportunity to be identified and have a bunch of different modifiers on it. Some modifiers are really, really, really good, and some modifiers are pretty bad. The modifiers that are really good are very good, and they're worth a lot of currency. And the modifiers that are bad are very bad and not worth anywhere near as much. Now, I have a list of the modifiers that are good. I'm going to talk to you about them. I'm going to show you on the trade website what makes them good or bad. But we're going to hope in this video, because we are a little bit of a streamer client RNG, fingers crossed, that this one absolutely is not very good at all. 10C. So if you hold Alt on the item, you can actually see the modifier. So it says suffix modifier of tool, and that's how you know which one of the modifiers is a Chayula modifier. Modifiers on the Chayula armor, or the grasping mail armor, I know I call it Chayula, I'm sorry, but modifiers on the grasping mail are unique to grasping mail and can only be identified, which is what kind of makes them very interesting and very popular. Now, if I go over here and I grab the trade website, I will happily be talking to you about the Chayula armors and why they're valuable and why they're important. A lot of you guys know about global defenses on grasping mails, and if I look up grasping mails and we look up global defenses, we know that usually that's the one that people are really looking for. That's the one that they want to play around with, and that's the one ideally they want to fracture. Now we see grasping mails has come with the global defenses has come down a long way. They're about 50, 60 C each. But if I look at it and I fracture it, which is what people like to do, and I fracture it, fractured, yes. You can see that global defenses on the armor fractured, it's about 35 divines. So if you like to gamble at 10 divines a click and you hit the fracture, you can make roughly 35 divines. Now, over the years, global defenses has been nerfed and it's not as valuable, but some of the other ones are very valuable. Now, we're going to set this back to fractured, no, because we don't want to look at it fractured. But if we look at armor is increased by overcapped fire resistance on a grasping mail, just this modifier alone starts at 11 divines. So if I pick up these rings and I identify a grasping mail and it has armor is increased by overcapped fire resistance, they start at 11 divines. Actually insane. But if I look at this and I look at it fractured, it's even more. It's actually a lot more. The mod itself fractured is 90 plus 120. There's only 10 of them. This modifier is used by deep delvers. So like players that are doing a lot of delve, a lot of armor stacking, they want that overcapped fire resistance mod. Now there's other mods as well that are really good. There's overcapped cold resistance. And overcapped cold resistance, I have to set this to fractured, no, starts at a divine. Like, pick up the rings. Like, it's crazy that these, now there's a lot of bad options, don't get me wrong, but how often do you leave these rings on the floor? How often do you see these rings out in the wild and you never pick them up? I know I do. I leave them on the floor all the time. Hell, they're probably filtered out on your filter. You probably don't even see them fall. I would check your filters. Now, I know there's a lot of people in my Discord who have been hunting these armors and they've made quite a killing. And I know my next video will probably be about hunting rings and how much money I've made off of hunting rings. Especially doing, like, if I'm seeing this many rings in a map from the basics of the Atlas strategy, like, and if I, like, do this right, I'm sure there's plenty of rings to be found. Now, this as a fraction modifier, I'm sure is going to be very expensive if it's one divine by itself. Oh, wait, I did it wrong. Whoops. There we go. Was confused. Should change this to any. Yeah, 55, 58, 60, 80, 85. That's crazy. Actually crazy. I'm learning a lot myself right now. The last other good one that I want to talk to you about is the increased attack speed per dexterity one. This mod too was one that I personally used for a long time at League Start. I crafted a deck stacking armor with this one. This one starts at 1. I'm sure this guy's there and would sell it. But like they go 2 divines, 3 divines, 4 divines. And then if we look at it fractured, they're 45.50. The point is that I'm trying to drive home is these rings are a lot of value. Even if you don't use the rings and vendor them yourselves to gamble, you could sell the armor unidentified and make money. You could sell the rings in bulk to me. You could sell the rings in bulk on TFT or the trade website. You can pretty much just pick these rings up. And if 60 are a divine and a divine is 230, that's what, like 3C a ring, 4C a ring? So if you're picking up small things as is, and you're the kind of player that needs a little bit of extra currency, this could be a good way for you to make some money. Now, I've been said this 100 times over. Julian has told me that the breach farming strategy itself is really good, and he's made a killing converting all the breaches to Chayula, and I'll be doing a video about that because I personally want to test it myself. Now, I know I'm hunting these armors, and I'm hunting all of these mods together, and something really cool is if you get the right mod in combination with another mod, the value's through the roof. And I'm going to leave you with this. If I take armors overcapped by fire and armors overcapped by cold, and I search for it, I'm going to set this to any, and I search, these two mods together start at a mirror. They're not easy to get, but it's a gamble. It could happen. Starts at a mirror. And it's not just a couple of them, it's a lot of them. These armors are picked up very early in the league by players who are delving. These armors are picked up by crafters very early in the league. And when these armors hit the market, they don't last. They disappear because there's a lot of value in them. Even if I set this to any and I search, there's only 11 of them. And they're all a mirror. Even the offline one is a mirror. My advice to you is to pick up these rings. My advice to you is to identify these grasping males. And my advice to you is to hunt these mods. If you're curious about the mods, you don't know what to look for, you think you might have struck gold and you're not sure, feel free to ask in the comments down below. Head on over to the Discord or the Twitch stream. But I pretty much just wanted to get the word out about these armors, and I really just wanted to show you guys what's going on, because not a lot of people know this, and not a lot of people realize that leaving these rings on the floor and not identifying these armors can really just be an absolute gold mine. And a lot of players just choose to ignore it. So there's never a lot of these armors that spawn on the server every league. Just a little food for thought. And next time you see a breach ring on the floor, maybe you second guess it and you pick it up, and maybe you hit the lottery, maybe you don't. But me personally, I know I've been having these rings on my filter. I've been picking them all up, and I've been identifying them all league, and I've made at least 100 divines selling armors over capped fire. Now I'm trying to make a delver and I don't have one, and I'm really upset because I need one. So back to the races to hunting more armors. But for now, friends, I just wanted to share this information with you and get it out to you guys, because like I said, I streamed the other day and a lot of people didn't really know what I was talking about or why I was picking up the rings or the significance behind it. So hopefully you learned something today. If you like this style of video or you want to know more little tips and tricks and secrets and like cool crafting things, leave a comment down below, let me know, and I'll continue to make more content like this. But for now, friends, I'm going to get this video out to you guys, and then I'm going to go start working on the video or working on the strategy to test on how many rings I can get in a map and how profitable it is. Friends, for now, so long and farewell, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.